Thus, if religion is to make this definitive, decisive and vital, urgent contribution to establishing world peace, it needs to be rescued from the twin challenges of irrelevance that sees religion as an interesting aspect of our history and extremism. In this latter regard, it will require vigilance on the part of people of all faiths, but especially those in positions of leadership within those faiths, to safeguard the transformative power of religion from the destructive extremes, or destructive forces of extreme orthodoxy and fanaticism. So unless it is free of ignorance, prejudice and animosity, religion will not be able to help with the manifold challenges confronting humanity. The breakdown in social order that we see, unfortunately, in many parts of the world, in all parts of the world, calls out desperately for the religious spirit to be freed from the shackles that prevent it from bringing the healing influence of which it is capable. But this will not happen unless there is a fundamental change, and this is something which is clearly being resonated in the discussions today, a fundamental change in the way in which the believing masses of humankind relate to each other. These words, this presentation, wishes to address this challenge head-on. And the Baha'i Committee feels that given the importance of what is at stake here, it will speak frankly and in a forthright manner about the challenge that this process of the unification of the Earth's peoples poses for religious leadership, and the importance of gaining understanding of the principles and the values that will enable religion to free itself of those factors that hinder it, the factors that hinder the spirit from bringing this very positive influence to bear in the world. And we hope that in offering this in a spirit of humility and learning, that we can help, and drawing deeply from the writings of the Baha'i faith, that it can help to elevate discussions of religious issues above any sectarian or transient considerations. Because it is the hope of the Baha'i community, the belief of the Baha'i community, that this spiritual resource, the writings of the Baha'i faith, can assist us all in gaining a deeper understanding of the process by which our spiritual life, humanity's spiritual life, evolves. And ultimately we feel hopeful that the ideas presented here will serve as a catalyst, if you like, or a catalyst opening the way to a new understanding of religion's purpose. Writing of religion as a social force, Baha'u'llah said, "Religion is the greatest of all means for the establishment of order in the world, and for the peaceful contentment of all that dwell therein." He furthermore affirms, "The purpose of religion is to establish unity and concord amongst the peoples of the world. Make it not the cause of dissension and strife." The true and lasting peace towards which we all aspire depends on unity. The well-being of mankind, averred Baha'u'llah, its peace and security are unattainable unless and until its unity is firmly established. When we are united, in a unity that embraces and honors diversity, all problems can be solved. For a start, the conscientious application of the Golden Rule, the teaching that we should treat others as we ourselves wish to be treated, a principle at the heart of all religions, will bring about a radical change in the world, revealing the salutary power of unity. The building of a global society based on cooperation, justice, reciprocity, and genuine concern for others is the ultimate expression of unified action. The principle then of the oneness of humankind provides the practical basis for the organization of relationships between states, nations, peoples, and religions. It's a principle that does not seek to undermine anyone's autonomy, national autonomy, cultural autonomy, religious autonomy, or suppress the cultural and intellectual diversity of the peoples and nations of the world. Rather, it seeks to broaden the basis of the existing foundations of society by ensuring that the complex and varied cultural expressions of humanity must be allowed to develop and flourish, as well as to interact with each other in ever-changing patterns of civilization. The time has come for the universal implementation of this principle in all departments of human life. Indeed, it is long overdue. However, in contrast to the processes of unification that are transforming the rest of humanity's social relationships, the suggestion that all of the world's great religions are equally valid in nature and origin is unfortunately resisted in some quarters and by entrenched patterns of sectarian thought. So fundamental a reorientation for religious leadership appears still sometimes difficult to undertake. Other segments of society embrace the implications of the oneness of humankind, not only as the inevitable next step in the advancement of civilization, but as the fulfillment of lesser identities of every kind that our race brings to this critical moment, this critical point in its evolution as a global society and in our collective history. Yet, there are still parts of organized religion which stand paralyzed, if you like, at the threshold of the future, gripped in dogmas and claims of privileged access to truth that have been unfortunately responsible for creating some of the most bitter conflicts in human history and as a result dividing the Earth's inhabitants. If this crisis, if you like, in religion is to be addressed as seriously as it is occurring with respect to other prejudices afflicting humankind, then organized religion must find within itself a comparable courage to rise above fixed conceptions inherited from a distant past. In the words of Baha'u'llah, there can be no doubt whatever that the peoples of the world, of whatever race or religion, derive their inspiration from one heavenly source and are the subjects of one God. The difference between the ordinances under which they abide should be attributed to the varying requirements and exigencies of the age in which they were revealed. All of them, except a few which are the outcome of human perversity, were ordained of God and are a reflection of His will and purpose. Arise, and armed with the power of faith, shatter to pieces the gods of your vain imaginings, the sowers of dissension amongst you. Cleave unto that which draweth you together and uniteth you. The assertion that God is one, and that beyond all diversity of cultural expression and human interpretation, religion is likewise one, does not challenge the validity of any of the great revealed religions. Far otherwise. It ensures their continuing relevance. But what the words that I've just quoted do unequivocally urge is the renunciation of all those claims